Hey guys, I'm sure if you're watching this video, then you must know about Death Note. When you find a notebook that lets you kill anyone just by writing their name, you basically have godlike powers as the Shinigami. Well, in this novel, the main character also has a power related to death, but the way he uses it is hilarious. Today I want to tell you about I Own a Funeral Home, livestream following other streamers and shock the entire internet. It's a long title, but the story moves at a fast pace. Li Yidao is reincarnated into a parallel world and becomes the owner of a funeral home. To get more coffin sales, he leaves comments under popular streamers' videos saying things like,
"Knife Guy's Funeral Services. Professional services to give you the most extravagant funeral possible after death. Pre-order now for 50% off super discounts."
Of course, the streamer's fans see this as self-promotion and call him out. But what they don't know is that he's received a system that lets him see people's death probability percentages. By subscribing to and promoting certain people, he'll get rewards from the system. He sees one lively streamer boasting he'll live to 100, but his system says the guy has a 99% chance of death. Intrigued, he subscribes. You guys won't believe what happened next. The very next day, news spread like wildfire that the streamer suddenly passed away from a heart attack. All of his fans were in total shock. Some eagle-eyed netizens even dug up an old comment.
Remember that spammy funeral ad under the streamer's last video? That knife guy was giving some creepy vibes, saying the streamer was gonna die soon and to pre-order a coffin for 50% off. Is this guy a psychic?
I found it too! He only followed that one streamer. Could this be some kind of prophecy?
More people online were amazed by the strange coincidence, though most wrote it off as just that, a fluke. Meanwhile, Li Yidao was stunned to see his previously unknown account now had thousands of new subscribers. And the number kept rising fast. At this rate, he'd hit tens of thousands in no time. He checked the old video. The comments had exploded from 0 to hundreds.
Is this the Grim Reaper knife guy himself?
He really only followed that one streamer.
Just then, the system prompted him. The host's quality customer has passed away, but no services were carried out. The reward will be accumulated instead of released. He frowned, regretting not promoting his services more to the streamer while he had the chance. Now he'd missed out on the system bonus. But this was only the beginning. After mulling it over, Li Yidao decides to find some new potential customers. About half an hour later, the system dings. A quality customer detected with 83% probability of death. Host should follow and secure business deal promptly. He checks his phone to see a live stream by a vlogger named Little Bunny. Her innocent looks are deceiving. With a camera view, her sexy figure is on full display. Without missing a beat, Li Yidao copies and pastes his usual comment.
Knife Guy's Funerals. Professional services to give you the most lavish funeral. Pre-order now for 40% off super discounts.
This time, he ups the discount a bit, knowing he needs to close a deal to satisfy the system. Sure enough, eagle-eyed fans spot the comment section. Some joke around, while others warn Little Bunny to be careful. Li Yidao just subscribed to her without a second thought. That's when the system dings again. It can also reveal how the target will meet their demise. In Little Bunny's task, she's fated to have a falling out with a fan during an in-real-life meetup, only to be brutally murdered. Just then on live, Little Bunny shares plans to date with a top online admirer. So the question is, Li Yidao never intended actual harm, but knowing her fate, should he let it happen or try to intervene? In other words, will he play the villain or hero here? Alright guys, this story took an even crazier turn. After much deliberation, Li Yidao decides to warn Little Bunny not to meet her fan in real life. But of course, she doesn't believe his ominous words. The next day, news breaks that Little Bunny has tragically passed away after the meetup, just as he predicted. From then on, Li Yidao consecutively follows 7 more streamers, and disturbingly, each one dies under mysterious circumstances the very next day. At this point, people are forced to admit Li Yidao seems to really have some kind of deathly intuition. His follower count skyrockets to millions overnight. Fans even start begging him not to subscribe them, afraid of meeting the same fate. But this drawn police attention as well. Li Yidao gets summoned to the station but checks out with no evidence against him. Then the system dings with a reward.
Host completes sales task and leads lifetime of 7 deceased streamers. Original lifespan of 69 years is now 365 years. Gain 2 skills. Handed fraud. Ability to give customers additional lifespan by sacrificing an equal amount of one's own lifespan. Handed death. Ability to strip a customer of the remaining lifespan and transfer it to oneself, causing the customer's instant death.
His jaw dropped. Is this good or bad? If he wants more life, does that make him a serial killer? But upon reflection, if their death were really 99%, they were doomed anyway. Maybe this system can also help save others. You won't believe what happened next. The very next day, an old police inspector visited Li Yidao with a young cop, but this time wasn't to bring him to the police station. They needed his help. First, the inspector wanted to observe Li Yidao closely to see if he really had some kind of power. Second, he hoped Li Yidao would film a promotional video for the police station. A promo vid for a funeral home? Ridiculous! As Li Yidao turned to refuse, the system suddenly dinged.
High-quality customer detected. ID, Zhang Chaoyang. Death status detection. As a newbie, unable to determine the actual dangerous situation, no sense of evasion and urgency, and 78% chance of sacrifice in the next mission. It is advised that the host should immediately follow the high-quality customer.
Li Yidao does a double take when he realizes Zhang Chaoyang, the idealistic young cop in front of him, is the high-quality customer flagged by the system. It's warning him that Zhang is in danger. No way can this dude kick the bucket. Li Yidao had to think fast to subtly warn him without blowing his cover. He stares intensely at his phone, gears turning in his head. Then he asks Zhang Chaoyang if he has any social media profiles. But it seems he doesn't. So Li Yidao tells him to create an account. Zhang is confused but goes along with it. Within minutes, a brand new profile appears.
ID, Police Officer Chaoyang. Number of followers, 1. Number of posts, 0. Status, 1.
Quick as a flash, Li Yidao finds the account and hits follow. Then, he thought for a moment and sent a message under the only status from the other party.
Please protect yourselves while protecting the people.
At the same time, he could not forget his own slogan.
No worries after death. Li Yidao will escort you. Full service, one-stop, ensuring peace of mind for your loved ones. Pre-bookings enjoy a 50% discount.
At this moment, Inspector Li Hui and Zhang Chaoyang's eyes were filled with shock. They understood. On the ride back, Inspector Li Hui didn't fully trust Li Yidao but couldn't risk Zhang Chaoyang. Their next mission was highly dangerous, apprehending a wanted criminal. He orders Zhang to take some leave, but being the righteous cop he is, Zhang couldn't sit back while his comrades risked their lives. Just as predicted, Zhang rushed to the scene alone before backup arrived. But the criminal got wind they were coming and tried to flee. In a desperate bid to prevent criminal escape, Zhang engaged in a brutal solo fight. Though the criminal was caught, Zhang also suffered a fatal wound. At the hospital with Zhang Chaoyang, Inspector Li suddenly remembered Li Yidao's prediction. If he warned Zhang, maybe he could still save him. He immediately contacts Li Yidao, who wastes no time rushing over. But when he sees Zhang drowning in a pool of blood, Li Yidao knows only his Hand of God skill has a chance of bringing him back. The question is, will he sacrifice some of his own life force to perform this act of godly intervention? Alright guys, what an insane cliffhanger, right? If you're just as hooked on this storyline as I am and dying to know if Li Yidao manages to save Zhang Chaoyang using his Hand of God, I've got just the solution for you. Head on over to WebNovel to read the full story. I promise they won't disappoint. The plot just keeps getting juicier and more twists to blow your mind. Anyways, huge thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe. Peace!